Squeaky, Squeaky, Squeaky. You know what? I think that's gonna be your name. We named it. Meet Squeaky. This it. This is its name. That's it. You're Squeaky from now on. Squeaky. I gotta pick this thing up. There we go. All right. The things we do just to get a thumbnail. Get this thing back up here. Picked up some motorcycle stands. I had to. I kind of had been putting it off, but I want to do some work on the wheels on these bikes, and I needed something to stand them up on. I also dropped this one and broke the tip off that one for kind of just avoiding the fact of getting the motorcycle stands, trying to clean it. So I'll talk about it on another time. Quad life. So we are on eco mode. I like to ride on eco mode, preferably sport mode. For some reason it has a huge lag, especially on power, like trying to take off. It does not feel good, so I've stayed mostly just riding on eco mode. It feels better. It kind of calms the bike down. So I've had the CFMOTO now 5 months, over 2,700 miles, and the truth is that I just think it's junk. Would I buy it again new? No. It just doesn't sound great. I mean, I don't know if you could hear the suspension as I'm riding, but the suspension on this thing squeaks. The front is horrible. When I come to a stop, this thing will go down and I'll be at a light, and then all of a sudden it just like boom, pops up. I'm like, what the hell? If I'm pulling into a gas station, you'll hear it squeaking all the way in. Sounds creepy. I don't know why, but it's only got 2,700 miles and this thing feels like it has 100,000 miles. It just makes a lot of noise for like a newer bike. You know, if it was a couple years old, I get it, but it's 5 months old. And here's your sport mode. This thing is useless. Like, it just lags. You might as well just leave it on eco. You hear that? The app for this bike is pretty much useless. I don't ever use it. I tried installing it when I first got it 5 months ago, and I just kind of gave up on to deal with it. It just felt like it didn't work properly, so it was pointless for me to try to have the app on my phone. There is also, once you go past 50 miles per hour, this thing is one big blur. You can't see anything. Anything under like 40, 45, you're good. I don't know if you could hear that. The biggest drawback on this bike is definitely the clutch lever. It just sucks. I got 2 rubber bands on because one was starting to stretch. Look, it just broke. So they last about a week, and then I'll just kind of replace them. So I still have one now, but that thing just rattles so much. It's horrible, and then there's like no tension on it. It just feels weird, man. And I'm only gonna really speak on the 300. I know I did take a look at the 650 NK they had before I bought the SV, and I kind of opted out of it. Didn't like the way it sounded, and months later I ended up going back and looking at the 300. I thought it was a safer buy because I was going to be only spending $4,200. So I figured, you know, if I was going to gamble, I was only going to gamble $4,200 and not 8 or 9 grand on this brand. So here we are, $4,200 later. Don't get caught up on the hype behind this brand. I know you got a lot of motovloggers, a lot of dealerships doing a lot of content. One thing CFMOTO is doing right is marketing. They're using motovloggers, content creators. The dealerships are making content, and I think that at some point, you know, the hype will die down and people realize that, damn, can I buy a better bike for just a little bit more? And I think you can, because if I had to do it all over, I probably would have took that $4,200 and maybe spend another $800 and took 5 grand and bought something else, you know. CFMOTO really has to come up with something innovative, because right now what they're doing is just marketing. The bikes, they're okay, you know, for another $500 or $600, $700 you could pick up a big name brand. You know, why would I want to keep buying an 800 NK for $8,500 if I could pick up a Suzuki 8S for $9,000? Something that we already know that more than likely will be reliable. We don't know anything about this brand, and this thing pretty much sounds like it's falling apart. I'm gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I am. I'll never sell it just because I feel embarrassed to try to sell it to anybody. This thing is pretty much garbage.